Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, so welcome. I'm sure many of you have heard of The Whole Marketer, maybe listened to the podcast, read the book. But before I tell you a little bit more about those 5 principles, I just wanted to do a little bit on me and tell you a little bit of a story. So I have worked in marketing just shy of 25 years. I've worked in client-side roles. I have worked in a consultant capacity for clients, for agency side, across multiple sectors and industries. I have trained thousands of marketers. I have set up my own business. I'm an accredited coach, etc., etc., okay? That is me on paper, and I'm sure a lot of you sitting there today with your wonderful job title, whatever it is, I would say Director of the Universe, EMEA, Africa, Asia, there's always something elaborate in the world of marketing. Are you actually good in soul? So I wanted to tell you a story. Who here has watched Jerry Maguire? I'm so relieved to see half of the audience put their hands up. And Jerry Maguire has a moment in that film, so for those that have not seen it. He is a sports agent, he is working with multiple clients, and he is not happy with what is happening in his industry. And I kind of had a Jerry Maguire moment. I was sitting on a sun lounger in Cyprus, my boys were playing in the pool, it was way too cold for me, and I was just reflecting. I was reflecting on the 2 weeks gone by, whether I was training, coaching, mentoring, whatever I was doing, there was this overarching feelings of overwhelm amongst the marketers. I'm getting nods and smiles, that feeling of overwhelm. And I sat there and I thought, what is it? What's causing the overwhelm? Well, the first thing is, the role of marketing has changed significantly in the last 10 years, from one that's a support function to one that's leading the commercial agenda, which is great because we should be leading the commercial agenda. But with that comes new technical skills, not just the ones that we keep getting thrown at us, like the AI or the programmatic or the agile or whatever comes left field as we're just trying to navigate that ship. The next is, because we're now leading, we need a certain set of skills for leadership that we've never had before. And that's not just leading the people that directly report into us, that's cross-functional teams, stakeholders, campaigns, whatever that may be. There was also a common theme that I was seeing with the marketers that I was training, which was those that really separated the best from the rest were those that were able to build that emotional connection with consumers, but were also able to navigate and bring plans to life. And then the last but not least was those that, if you're overwhelmed, those that had the personal understanding, they knew who they were, they knew what they brought to the world, and they owned it. And so I took that understanding and I thought, what can I do? Thinking about what I'm passionate about, which is marketing profession. I always say #marketinggeek, sorry, not sorry. I am the person reading the marketing books on the sun lounger. How can I take all that technical knowledge that I know and the work that I do in capability to define the skills that we need today to grow the brands and businesses of tomorrow? How can we really upskill so we have the power to lead that long-term commercial agenda? Why? Because I want us to feel supported and empowered, but also to be successful and fulfilled in our careers and our lives as a whole. And the word whole has many meanings. Holistic skills, bringing your whole self to work, but also really thinking about your whole development and your life as a whole. So in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to talk to you about the 5 steps to have a successful and fulfilling career. There's much more that you can do, but for the sake of 15 minutes, I'm going to give you the top 5 things. The first is, 1, develop yourself holistically. So yes, by all means, have aspirations of that next job title, but really think about the skills and behaviors that you need holistically. Don't just be great on paper. And that's why I started with that, here's me on paper. But what am I like to be around? What am I like to interact with? How am I developing my soft skills, my leadership skills, but also my understanding of self? So I want you to think about developing your technical skills, your soft skills, your leadership skills, and personal understanding. The what, the how, and the why. Who here feels that they are developing themselves holistically? Okay. Who here feels that they're mainly focusing on the technical things on paper? Okay. A lot of you. And that's not uncommon. So my encouragement after today's talk is to think holistically. So, the what. We want to really think about those technical skills that allow us to lead that long-term commercial agenda, the ability to write that long-term strategy, to make strategic choices, to be able to really have insight but make it actionable, that lives and breathes through the whole organization, to develop the insight that allows us to map those omni-channel, those true omni-channel experiences, those skills that allow us to build those partnerships with our agency partner, own the whole P&L, develop effectiveness, develop ROI. These are the skills that we now need to do that. The next is the how, to build that deep-rooted emotional connection with our consumers and our customers, the empathy, the being able to connect, being human, as well as being able to lead, to bring those plans to life, the resilience, the can-do attitude. You know, as we were saying at the beginning, marketing is a challenging yet rewarding profession. You know, I'd love to meet the person who brings that activation to market and it happens all great, first time, no concerns, okay? Said no one ever, okay? And therefore we need that resilience. But also stands into their power and uses what they know technically and also in their personal understanding to inspirationally and aspirationally lead their teams from the front. The next is the why. You know, why do you get out of bed every morning? What is your personal understanding? This is where the fulfillment comes from, knowing who you are, what you bring to the world, not just what you're like, and using that understanding to be able to have a fulfilling career and life as a whole. Not forgetting that we are in an ever-changing and evolving profession. So I always encourage you, and each of my podcast episodes, every season will have the latest thing that is being circulated within the profession. So all I will say is, yes, it gets overwhelming, but at least allow yourself to have a level of awareness as to what that new thing is. I know AI, I mean, who here sometimes want to hide in the corner, AI gets spoken about so much, wants to know what's actually going to happen with it, but enough to be informed as to whether that's something you want to build into your personal practice or build into your team, okay? If you're interested, learn more. If you're not, move on, okay? But at least keeping abreast of those things. The next is the personal understanding. As I was mentioning, you know, who you are and what you bring to the world, having that self-awareness of what you're like to be around, but also knowing what your strengths are. And strengths are something that you do that makes your soul feel on fire, and you're really great at doing it, and you enjoy doing it, okay? You're using those strengths. The next is someone who understands what their values are. Values are those things that you hold of deep importance to you. When you are doing things that play to your values or to your purpose, you will feel fulfilled. Understand what drives you and what motivates you. But then to use all of that understanding to set your goals, to make sure that you have a role that allows you to place your strengths so you are constantly building your energy pots and you're getting the fulfillment in your role. But also use this understanding to build your authentic leadership style. We often arrive in leadership positions only having experienced the leaders before us, but not actually thinking about what kind of leader do I want to be in my time, for these people, in my care, that is authentic to me and that plays to my values but brings the benefit to the wider team. And the next is to define your ideal role, which I'll come on to in a second. We can only help others to the extent in which we know ourselves. Some people say to me, oh, that takes time and energy, Abby, to be able to build my personal understanding. Yes, it does, but often people feel less guilty about using that understanding when they know it's going to benefit others, whether that's inside of work, outside of work. You know, you can only help lead teams into the extent in which you know yourself, okay? If you want to motivate someone, understand what motivates you. If you want to allow someone to leverage their strengths, identify your own strengths first. The next is get clear. And there's two caveats for getting clear. One, as a marketer, I'm seeing too many marketers and marketing leaders asking people to run marathons without clarity as to why they're running that marathon, what the cause or the purposes of that marathon, how long it is, someone's nudging someone over there, how long it is going to take to run that marathon, breaking it down into milestones, telling them the time in which they need to deliver it, what success looks like. If we don't set those milestones, no one's going to want to run that marathon. Okay, now personally, I don't run anywhere unless I'm in danger. Okay, but I'm most definitely not going to run if you don't tell me why I'm running it, what the purpose is, what's in it for me, how well do I need to run it, and whether you're going to support me. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we need that for ourselves. You know, marketing is a challenging profession, so therefore having a vision about where we're going for our careers or for our lives as a whole, setting those goals, communicating that to those around us so they can hold us accountable, and making sure that we prioritize our activities and our time to achieving them is essential. If we want to get fulfillment, we get fulfillment from doing things that edge us closer to our goals. So we need to have this for ourselves personally, but we also need to set that clarity for everyone in our team professionally. Everyone with me so far? Yay. The next is take the reins. And this is to build on the ideal role. There's a model here, I was going to say behind me, to the left of me, to the right of me, which if you have that personal understanding, you can use it to define what the ideal role is for you. I see lots of people chasing the job title, but not chasing the content of that role. In order to have a fulfilled career, you're going to need a role that actually plays to your strengths, that allows you, edge you closer to your goals, to develop the skills, to have an organization that plays to your values or that you share values with, or that you have a role that allows you to play to your values or purpose, for you to have personal alignment to the role, but also to you professionally and have job fulfillment, but also that fits with your life as a whole. Okay? Where you want to live, how you want to work, all of those things need to be happening. I get so many people message me and say, Abby, I'm looking for my next role. What are you looking for? Marketing director. Okay, what does that need to include? What are your strengths? What do you enjoy? What are you great at? What are your non-negotiables? What kinds of organizations, industries, the values that you want? All of these things have to be in play. Okay, so I'd really encourage you to not just look at the job title, but look at what's in that role. Write your list. Why? Because then you're going to have a career that's happening for you, not to you. Okay? Who here has been offered a role in your organization, maybe wasn't the thing that you were looking for, you took it and you went with it? Okay, most of us. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, okay? It's really about going, actually, is this role the right role for me to edge me closer to my goals, to play to my strengths, my values, the things that I need to develop, where I want to go on my career path? And really being intentional in that journey. Those people that have mapped that journey are much more able to know the things that they want to learn and develop in, okay? The skills that they need to have to possess, and make a plan to do that. They're not waiting for the next training and course that might happen internally. They're going after it themselves. They're signing themselves up. They're asking for help. They're being proactive in their action because they have that clarity. 5. I promised you 5. Here's your 5th. The next is those that take daily action. Who here sets a goal at the beginning of the year and then starts running at it full pelt and then gets overwhelmed and stops? Okay? The key to success, that's what I wanted to say, the key to success is not to run it at full pelt. Our brains will get overwhelmed and we will stop. We won't keep moving. So we want to make small, incremental movements towards our goal, ideally daily. One call, one email, one ask for help, one putting your hand up to work in a certain work stream, asking to come and listen in on a certain meeting, one thing every day. The next is they adopt a growth mindset. They are thinking, I don't know this yet. Not, oh, well, I don't know how to do that, and therefore I'm not going to do it, so just never mind. Okay? Yet. We are all works in progress, we are all learning, and those that adopt a growth mindset that they are trying are those that are going to succeed. The next is those that do the work. So those that have that personal understanding, who here knows their strengths? Great. Who here knows what they are in their self-awareness, whether they've done a Myers-Briggs or an Insight? Okay. Who knows their values? Purpose? Okay. It gets lesser as those things go on, all right? So I always say self-awareness is like the first layer of the onion. It's the thing how we interact with others. They're great for a tool. They allow us to carve us into boxes of 1 to 16. But that's like taking the whole population and putting us in a box out of 1 to 16, okay? They're a great starter for 10. You need to have that inner depth. But also, once you have that personal understanding, it doesn't stop there. So when you start edging closer to your goals, limiting beliefs start coming up, imposter syndrome starts coming up, challenges and barriers are coming away. So it's those that really face into those, work through them, and keep going. They feel the fear, and they do it anyways. And they ask for help. The beauty of the world is that we all put something out into the world that wasn't there before. We're not supposed to know everything. That's the beauty of the world. So find that mentor, that person that's done the thing that you want to do. Find a coach that allows you the space and questioning to arrive at the answer. Find an accountability buddy, someone that's going to make sure that you take those daily actions, okay? I have all of those things at any one time. Mentor is somebody who's got something or can do something that you cannot yet do. So they're your 5 things. So in summary, a whole marketer is someone who is passionate about the profession. I would hope by you sitting here today, you are indeed that. That you stay abreast of those changes. You really want marketing to play that long-term commercial role. You know, we should be the voice of the consumer and the customer. We should be in every single forum. But you own your own personal development, okay? You make it yours. You're committed to holistic growth, the technical, the soft skills, the leadership skills, but also your personal understanding. And you support and empower others, whether in your care or in your community, to also grow. If you're looking for more ways to get more support on how to grow holistically, there is a book and also a podcast. As I mentioned, there are 130 episodes already there waiting for those that don't already listen to the podcast. Each season will either talk about a technical skill, a soft skill, a leadership lesson, or an area of personal understanding. We also shine the light on a lot of the uncommon or non-spoken about issues like burnout, or the things that affect us holistically like menopause, but whilst also talking about AI, the latest programmatic, performance marketing, whatever that may be. There's lots of resources also on the website if you want to find out more about yourself, learn your values, assess your skills. It's all there for your keeping, as well as all of the articles that have been written, as I'm also a columnist for Marketing Week and also MadFest. It's just for me to say thank you. That's your 5 principles. Please do keep in touch. That's me.